Hello, Virtual Quilt Market. My name is Daisy Aschehoug, and today I am here to talk to you about my book with Heather Black called Quilt, Modern Curves, and Bold Stripes. This is a pattern book with 15 different designs that all include, just as the title suggests, curves and stripes. Heather Black and I met on the internet. We met through Instagram, and we both share a love of designing quilts with curves. And we decided that we wanted to match curves and stripes and see how many different ways we could come up with quilts that combine these two elements. Now, one of the fantastic things about writing this book with Heather is that our styles are different. Our design styles are different, and our techniques for sewing curves are different. You can sew curves without any basting at all, or like Heather, you can sew curves with pins. Heather pins all around the edges of hers. I really like glue basting my curves. So when I am cutting out my pieces, I first use a marking tool to mark the center notch. Sometimes it's a marker, a wash away marker, or I could, depending on the color of fabric that I'm using, sometimes I use chalk and sometimes I use pencils. So these tools are essential as I cut them out. I use a 45 millimeter sometimes on big curves, but the smaller the curve, the easier it gets with a smaller rotary cutter. So I really enjoy this 28 when I'm cutting the 3-inch curves. Lastly, the glue that I need for basting. I use glue pins. I've used a variety in the past, but really this style is what I find works best for glue basting my curves. I'd like to share a few of the projects with you as I talk about how Heather and I structure the book and some fun aspects of the book. The first quilt that I'm going to share, this is called Dancing Cups. This is one of the larger quilts in the book, and these half circles are staggered in a bit of a farmhouse style. I really like the farmhouse bowls and that particular design aesthetic. So this is one of my designs in the book. This is one of the smallest pieces. This is called ruched, and it makes for a great table topper or even an art accent on the wall. It creates this really interesting secondary pattern down the center when you turn the quarter circles on point and combine them with the strip sets. This next quilt is called Fins. And what's great about this design is that these stripes are pieced in this quilt. So each of those lines is piecing, but there is a set of instructions to make a second version of fins. So this version uses striped fabric. Now, about half of the designs in the book have this pairing so that when people want a quicker project or something where they've picked out a favorite stripe that they found and found coordinating colors to go with it, they can use the instructions that have the fabric requirements and cutting and piecing instructions for the striped fabric. Or if they really want to control all of the different aspects of how their quilt will look, they can use the instructions to piece their own. This quilt is called Beach Day. This quilt uses 6-inch quarter circle templates, and we include all the template pieces in the back of the book, but there are a lot of different acrylic template pieces on the market. And so it's a great opportunity to pair it with Color Girl Quilts, Curved Ruler, or Betty Crocker Ash. Jen Carlton Bailey has acrylic templates, and Jenny Haynes out of the UK also sells templates. And there's a variety of sizes in the books. My quilts use mostly the 3-inch and the 6-inch, so and some of Heather's do as well. That will cover many of the designs in there. The last 2 quilts I want to share are some of my favorite from the book. This quilt is called Patio Lights. And the first version is the pieced version. And I actually used a jelly roll that I trimmed down in order to get these strips. I think that was the Waterfall colorway by Robert Kaufman. And this is the second version. And this uses one of the Essex classics that is a striped linen. And in the book, Heather and I have included lots of tips and tricks for combining the curves, combining the quarter circle squares, and matching those stripes so that it appears seamless. Another thing that we did in the book is that we talked about our process and making these quilts, but there's a lot of room for people to experiment. Heather and I both are part of the Modern Quilt Guild, and we might be considered modern quilters. And I think that a lot of modern quilters really like to play with ideas, and this book is a nice starting point for people to read and be inspired and then go in their own direction with design. So it's really a versatile book, and we hope you like it as much as we do. I hope you're all staying well, and that's it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.